Hi guys, today I am going to show you how to create an invoice in QuickBooks Online and send it to your customer. So right now we're in QuickBooks Online. This is the home page. There's a couple of different ways that we can navigate to send an invoice. One of which is this plus new button, and then you could click invoice. The other option is to come down here to the sales tab and then click invoices. From here you can then create an invoice. Now, if we had already sent invoices in this company, you would see invoices listed here. This is our demo company. There's nothing really in it yet, so we don't have any invoices that have been sent. I prefer the plus new button. I think it's easier. Here you're going to add a customer, or you could select from an existing customer. We haven't added any existing customers yet. If we had, we'd be able to search from here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a customer. There's a couple of different ways that you can add a customer here. So you can either put an actual first and last name if it's an individual, or you could put the company name. Maybe you have a contact at the company. So let's say that I've sold to a different company, but I have a specific person that I've sold to. So let's say that I've sold to Lisa. Her last name is Green, and she works for Unlimited Company. And this is just pulling up through QuickBooks Business Network. We're going to ignore that. We don't need that. If Lisa has an email, you can go ahead and input her email here. You could also input her phone number. So we'll just say her phone number is 555-555-1234. You could have her mobile number, her fax. You can also keep some other information such as her website. So this automatically has the customer display name as Lisa Green. But let's say that we want it to be Unlimited Company, right? Because Lisa just happens to be our contact, but we're actually invoicing this Unlimited Company. You can go down here, put her street address. So she lives on 123 Blue Avenue. And we're going to say that she is in Columbus, Ohio. And let's just give her a 43012. I don't know what the zip code is. You can also put what country she's in. Let's say that you have a separate billing address from the shipping address. You could uncheck this and put a specific shipping address. Maybe she works at the corporate office and you need to be able to ship something to a different location. You can do that here. You can also create notes in here for the specific customer. Let's just say that we want to make a note that Lisa is the purchasing manager, and put a couple of other items in there. You can also save payment information. So Lisa generally pays us with a check, and then you're going to give the terms that are default for Lisa. So we can always change these terms later, but Lisa's a new customer. Generally, we request due on receipt for new customers, and then she can apply for terms later. And then sales form delivery options, use company default. You can also do print later, send later. This is just the default that it selects when you're creating an invoice. I think it's easiest to just use company default. If perhaps Lisa is tax exempt, so sometimes you may have a product or a service that you're selling and you have to collect sales tax on that. But you may have other companies that are exempt from being charged sales tax. You can put exemption details here. Opening balance would be if they already owe you money and you're just bringing their account over from like another software. So let's say we were in another software, we're not bringing in all the data from that other software. We're just starting fresh with QuickBooks Online. I could put that Lisa owes us money here. So we'll go ahead and save Unlimited Company or Lisa in here. So you'll notice that the billing address is Unlimited Company. Lisa's the contact. You can put an email in here. It's defaulted to due on receipt. You can change this. So we could say, you know what, this particular invoice, we're gonna let her pay in 30. It's gonna generate an invoice number for you. This invoice number is just based on the number of invoices that you have in QuickBooks Online. So it's going to assign this invoice number 1001 because this is the first invoice. You can change this though. If you have a specific invoice naming criteria, you can change the invoice number here. Now we're gonna add a product and a service. So we don't have any products or services entered in here yet. I'm gonna show that in a different video. So for now, I'm just gonna say sales. You can put a description in here, which is going to show up on Lisa's invoice. So we could give her a description of this particular line item. So let's say that we are selling, a specific product, and then we're also selling an hourly service. So this could be product number 1578. Maybe she ordered 10 of them and they are priced at $175 a piece. And then maybe we're going to charge her hourly. And we're going to say installation of product 1578. And we're going to assume that it's going to take 3.5 hours to install those 10 items at an hourly rate of $75. So it's going to bring this out here. You'll see she is going to be able to see what she is being charged for 10 units of this specific product number, and then also what she's going to be charged for the installation of the products. She'll be able to see that as line items. You can add additional line items here. You could also add sales tax. I don't have sales tax turned on in here. I will show that in a different video just because sales tax can be extremely complex depending on if you're selling in multiple states and all of that. Now you can also add a message to the invoice. So I recommend using the descriptions here to explain specific line items. And then if you want to have a message on the invoice, this is going to apply essentially to the whole entire thing. So we could say installation date scheduled for September 15th or something along those lines. You can also put a message on the statement. So what's the difference between the invoice and the statement? An invoice is going to be essentially this particular set of line items, right? So Lisa has invoice 1001 for this particular product number and then these number of hours. A statement, on the other hand, is going to show a list of invoices, okay, and show them their total due for the month. So if we're only going to be doing business with Lisa for this one particular invoice and she's not going to become a recurring customer, probably never really going to send Lisa statements unless she doesn't pay this particular invoice. You can also add attachments here. So this is what the invoice looks like when it's done. You can put an email in here. If you put an email in here, you can save and then send the invoice. You can also just save the invoice. You can save and close, or you can save and share a link. So I'm going to save and close this invoice. Now, as you can see in the invoice section of sales, so to get here, you would go to sales and invoices, oops, right here. So this is going to show us all of our invoices. This shows us on August 1st, we have invoice 1001 to Unlimited Company for this amount. It's due in 30 days. We can edit the invoice, we can receive payment. You can also go in and duplicate it. You could send a reminder. Let's say that it is August 28th and we still haven't received any payment, we could send a reminder to Lisa just so she remembers, hey, by the way, this is due in 2 days. Or if it happens to be overdue, we could send her a reminder. We can share the invoice link. We can print the invoice from here. We can print a packing slip. So let's say that we are going to ship her the product and then we'll have somebody show up at Unlimited Company to install that product. We could print a packing slip to put in with that particular product that we're sending. We can also void and delete the invoice. So what's the difference between voiding and deleting? So deleting is going to completely remove the invoice from the system. We'll see no record of it. Voiding is still going to show us the invoice. It will still live within QuickBooks. They just won't owe us that amount, right? So we'll still be able to see it. So that is how you send an invoice. If we had put an email, we could have emailed it right to Lisa. The nice thing about emailing it is once you email it, it's actually going to give you a history of that particular invoice. So you would be able to see when they view that invoice, which is really nice. If somebody says, hey, I never received the invoice, we can go and check to see if they did. So that is how you create an invoice in QuickBooks Online.